welcome to another Jeff Walker Books discussion. Today we're talking about the controversy of, well, let's just say that women in books or media, like movies or whatever, are not getting a fair share, or just in general they feel that there's not enough representation. So let's talk into this topic right now. As a man, I can't be in a woman's head. I don't know what they're thinking half the time. More than likely, they don't know what we're thinking, but I'm sure they do. As the whole Me Too movement has exploded. Now that social injustice is starting to crank it's starting to churn a bit more and more. More women are starting to call out characters in movies and books, complaining that there's not enough representation, or they don't have a big enough role, or they just feel that they're being subordinate to the men characters, which isn't really true, I don't think, to an extent. It really depends on the writing. What I've seen lately is women demanding their characters be pushed into male roles. What they want to do is take on the role that belonged to a man. I don't know if I agree 100% with this. I mean, if it's done in a certain way, then it's possible. But for the most part, I would have to say that I don't think they should take over a character that was a man's. It was in the role of a man. Maybe that's because I'm doing it from a male point of view. I don't know, but more than likely, it probably is my male brain thinking this. But I can't help what I am, and women seem to have the right to want to have more representation, just like anybody else wants to be more represented into books and film. But there's a way of doing it that's less direct, and I don't think taking over parts that are clearly meant as a character that was written as a man. Take in point James Bond. Now they want to replace James Bond with a woman. That's fine. I mean, if she's taking over the mantle of 007, but just don't give her the name of the James Bond. I don't see it working at all. There's a reason why that worked so well in the past. It's because men are idolizations of what Bond should be, and I understand that he was sexist at times, and that he was, but that was the day, you can't go back in time and say, well, they didn't include anybody, and it's like, well, it was the time. I'm getting tired of people pointing to history and saying, well, look at that, and it's like, well, yeah, that's why that occurred. You don't like it in the now, then change the now. You can't change the past for what it was. That's just, that's just insane. And you can't cancel movies and cancel books just because you didn't agree with what was being done back then. I'm sorry, but that's like a recorded history, or a time that a person lived in, and to sit there and demand that they take that away is absolutely communistic. It's like, maybe I just made that word up, I don't know, but it's just like, I can't see that being helpful at all. If anything, it's there as a reminder of what we were, bad or good. Literature is there because it was there at the time, and it inspired a lot of people, and it moved a lot of people, and There is good literature, and then there is bad literature. I will agree to that. But as a people, we must move forward in our thinking, not backward in our thinking. Women have been struggling, and I get that. And men have been trying to be understanding. But when people start shoving it in your face and kind of dissing the other sex in the process, it doesn't advance anything. If anything, it will hinder. Case in point, a lot of movies trying to create women roles where they go, men don't deserve to be in this movie, or kind of shove them to the side as side characters. Well, I get the point that men have done that in a lot of movies in the past. But in order for you to be more ideal for that role, I think you should just accept that you can be the strong woman, the strong role in that, and not have to belittle another person. That would make you actually better because you didn't disregard the other sex in the process. But I mean, I understand they don't want the male savior, but still there's a lot of women that do like that sort of thing. It's kind of confusing right now because the world is changing into dynamics where I don't think anybody's going to agree on anything at this point. You got women that want to be stronger, that have same sex kind of thing, but even like same sex partners, they want those roles to stay as they are as well. Like James Bond, like that appeals to a lot of gay people too. So don't think that only women could be no, like gay men probably like that stuff too. So it's odd to me that in this time that we're trying to shove each other out of the way in order to get this limelight, and then it's just like, no, there shouldn't be one in front of the other. It should be together in the same spotlight. And that's what true feminism was trying to do. It was trying to say, look, I'm with you, but I want to be the same as you. And we're going to hold hands together, and we're going to be in the same light together. And basically, that's what it was about. And the ones that become militant and the ones that berate other men and other women sometimes for subservient roles or roles they feel that are degrading the woman, I think those are the ones that are really going to harm the whole movement to that sort of degree. Now, I think there's been plenty of strong female characters, to be honest with you. Even in older movies, there were strong feminine characters. So maybe not to the point where they thought they were going to take over or whatever. But, I mean, it was a step. And that's what I feel that some of this is, a stepping stone. If we just shove that in right away, you're going to annihilate all the audience and all the readers. To make it too much of flag waving, as I call it, because the Americans used to love to make these movies where, Michael Bay, my God, there isn't a shot in some of his movies where there isn't kind of like this patriotic flag waving going on in the background. You were just waiting for, one of the Transformers to be waving an American flag going, God bless America, No, I think that sometimes it becomes too on the nose in some places. So, what's the solution? Well, just good writing. Let's put it that way. I've written books with female characters, and I know that some people find that's, a lot of men have, and a lot of women have written male characters. So why don't men complain about that? Why are you taking our role? What do you know? What do you know about men? No, we didn't say anything about it. And a lot of women have written male roles in TV, movies, and books, and maybe that's what they want to see. And yeah, men have written some women parts, and obviously some women get offended that men take on, the women, and sometimes degrade the women. Sometimes that's true. I mean, there are sometimes men just can't get into that headspace. I try to be more proactive in that, and that trying to make the female character a bit more dynamic. When I wrote Outer Red, the series, and I'm still writing Outer Red, I still have one more issue to do of number 4, part 4. I wrote her as a lead character. I made her as strong as I could make her. I probably could make her stronger. Maybe that's just the downside of my. I mean, it's the first time I ever wrote through the eyes of someone like that, and I'm learning as I'm going. So that's what it is. It's a learning process. You have to learn to be in someone else's shoes, and I don't see the big problem with that. I don't see if that's a step towards understanding. People get so offended that if you try to write as a black man, you don't understand the struggles as a black man. Well, no, I'm learning. I want to learn, and if I'm doing it in the right way, instead of making him, oh, sir, kind of like thing, making him intelligent but not overly racist in his own right. Because I think that women and like we're really pushing the boundaries sometimes of what's tasteful and what's just pure on disgusting sometimes, because it becomes so in your face and so on the nose that it's just like, who wrote this kind of like thing, because you just shake your head sometimes. I've seen some movies like that. I don't know. I think they had to try to shove in as many people in those roles and try to be so apparent that all the female women are making all the decisions and the men are just in the background going, yes, 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 yes. And I understand that was the role that they had back in the day in some of the older movies. Sure, I can understand the struggle for that. But you know what? I mean, I think it should be if you want to make it diversified, and I was watching a YouTube about this, about the naming of diversified or diversity, and a lot of these movies do not use it properly. They tend to skew to one side only and not the multiple sides of diversity. You don't just have a black cast and call it diversified. Well, no, that's not diversification. That is a purely race movie, based on trying to do it for one group only. Diversification means multiple. You're talking, like Asian, white, black, Native American, European, all the types of. And when I say European, everybody just automatically thinks they're white people. Well, no. There's many more kinds of people in those worlds. I mean, and it's hard to articulate anything anymore, because the minute you say the wrong word, everybody jumps on you. And it's like, okay, maybe they didn't mean to say it that way. Educate them, sure, but don't berate them about it. It's like you need to expand a bit on helping them out to understand and learn. And that's the only way to get through this world. We need to educate more. We need to stop trying to blame with the finger pointing. Is corporations evil? Yes. But in the end of the day, we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all have our own agendas. we all have our own training of thought. Getting back on the women thing, I think that I think it's interesting that they try to over promote the woman now, and it's becoming so much so that I think it's become distasteful to some, and you'll see the backlash coming in like YouTube videos and in comics, and especially comic books. I've never seen so much. I've never seen so much trying to take over parts and trying to destroy cultural icons of of certain characters, and I don't know if that's the right thing to do. To be honest with you, I wouldn't take over another character. I would try to create my own character and build on that. I think it's coming to a point where it's becoming very distasteful to many, and you're going to see a lot of clashing on that. I have no problem with women being in lead parts. It means nothing to me. It's if there's a good written part. Oh my gosh, what a great character that would be. I loved Aliens. I loved Sigourney Weaver's character. She had the best character ever. It was well written. It was a well placed character, and that's what I'm talking about. You've got to learn to place your characters in precise things with a really good script and a really good written role. And then, especially in books, if you've got a good character and it works, then yeah, make that female lead a lot stronger, and kind of include a lot more. In my Outer Red series, there is barely any men in my books, which is surprising even me. Mainly, I have her, and I have other. I have girl when she meets the three pegs, they're all little girl clones, and the only male person that she shares with is Grimm, who's a AI computer program, who is a sassy male character. But he's not a man. He's a robot, or not even a robot. He's an AI that's just integrated with her computers. But that's his character, and she doesn't dispute it. And she likes talking to him and all that. But she is the star of the show. So I try to make sure that she stays the star of the show, and that she is strong, and that she will get through things, and that she has good decision making, and that she's not going, "Oh dear, I broke a nail," kind of like thing. So I'm trying to keep all my female roles strong and necessary, whereas I'm trying not to make them subordinate at all. Not unless it's like some sort of sword and fantasy movie, where but I mean, there's like, even in Conan, there was always a strong female role in there too. Like he ran into like a woman that was like a strong take no kind of nonsense kind of thing. And then even in the books I've read, like, he's had a lot of strong female characters. Mind you, there are some that are just like, "Oh, thanks, Conan," kind of like thing. But then there will always be people like that. Even in men. Men have like some dour roles, like, "Oh, thank you," kind of like thing. Especially in Wonder Woman, like. There's Wonder Woman's a strong woman, but she also has Steve Rogers guy, who's really just like there does the "Oh, well, thanks, Wonder Woman," kind of like thing. So I understand that part. But yeah, I think it's coming to a point where we have to really evaluate this stuff. The women's roles, I don't dispute it. I think it's the books that come out with strong female leads, those will be the ones that that seem to be making some headway. But I mean, if you don't include and you don't diversify and you don't try to include everybody, I'm trying to keep it so that it's not just men are here, women are here. I want them both to be together, holding hand in hand on an adventure together. And I don't want one person to be greater than the other. I want them to both to be equal. And that's what I want. I want to see equal with their partners, And that's what it's really all about. It can't be, oh, women are dumb and men are the greatest, or the women are the greatest and men are just so stupid. And it's like, no, see, that's why we have such a struggle. You have to join everybody in the process, holding everybody's hand, and not just having one person be in the center of the ring. Everybody comes in. And I get that in books, there has to be one voice that leads the charge. There can be two. There can be, as they can be together as one voice. And that has happened in books. But I mean, for some books that only need one character to lead the charge, then that character should be the one responsible for everything, be it man or a woman. But certainly I wouldn't try to gender swap a character that has been established. To me, that's just ridiculous. You could create a side character and spawn books from that. I think that's great. That's why I said, like, if they're trying to replace James Bond, why not create another James Bond-like lady and put her as her own 00 kind of 008 or 009 title? Why does it have to be directly that one? It doesn't make sense to me. You could create a spin-off and it could spawn something great. I thought about this about Doctor Who too. I don't have an issue with her being a woman. I just had an issue with more of the writing around it, or what was leading up to it. I didn't even think the last Doctor, I forgot his name. He was the 12th Doctor. I wasn't a fan of his writing, of the writing on that, and I don't think even the actor enjoyed the writing in that one, because it was just terrible. I didn't enjoy the stories. I thought it was too saturated with politics, and it becomes political. It just ruins everything. People come for fantasy. If they want political, they'll watch a political movie. If they want to watch something that's fun and entertaining, then they'll gravitate to that. Now, Doctor Who's ratings have dropped dramatically ever since they destroyed the Doctor's background. They say they haven't. They say, oh, well, anything's possible in the back. No. You don't destroy a franchise just to make a political point. I hate that. I hate seeing that. You could have spun off another show with a woman that they introduced. The Doctor had like this woman that came in, hello, sweetie, kind of like, and she was like a self-made time lady. And actually, if they had just spun off her, and they could have made a whole show around her. But instead they went the other route and took over Doctor Who himself. Which, I think it got to a point where I wasn't so much not enjoying it for that, but for the point that I think it needed to come to an end. The Doctor has 13 lives, and that should have just been the end of it. I personally wanted to see it end and start again. End the show and then reboot the show, and then you can do all this crazy shit. Pardon the language there. But I think that's what it could have happened. The women roles are becoming more and more too on the nose. The diversity is not there anymore. It hasn't been. Everybody's been like so swayed in the in the moments of the Me Too's and the in the Black Lives Matter and and I don't discount these things. I think the injustice is still there, but we have to learn how to govern such things properly and how to integrate it properly. I think we're just trying to shove too much in at the moment, and that seems to be our problem every single time there's like some big huge movement or social upheaval, that we have to like cram it in there and say, yeah, that's how we do it. And it's like, no, you need to learn to write properly so that you can slowly integrate it and change people over the course of time. It doesn't A drastic change will always scare humanity, always, and you'll see resistance because of that. If you trickle it in slowly and just kind of phase it out, nobody will know. Nobody will notice that at all, and then it'll just be the change that happens, and it will be accepted because you are dealing with people that have lived a certain way for up to a point, but there's been no gradual. I mean, I think it's politicians that do this too, especially in America with the Republicans. Man, do they not want to lose their money train for some reason? They really don't want to change. And I think that they get scared because they said, well, if this and leads to this, then what's going to happen to me? Or, all my wealth. And that's really what it comes down to, is money. The one thing that humanity seems to share is this grasp of money, sex, and power. And it's a trinity that is just going to wreck us. Just going to wreck us if we don't start to get out of that somehow. But anyway, I think I've carried on a bit too far. So I think I'm going to end it with I have women deserve to be essential characters, but write them smart. Write them not as too domineering, although I think some people like that. But I think they should be smart. I think they should be written smartly and integrated smartly. And I don't think that they should just push aside men or try to make them look dumb. Men have been trying hard to incorporate the woman. We're not like we were back in the 50s. Although a lot of if you try to create a show and that's the time that it was set in, and you have to portray those characters like that, people get so offended. I was going, why? That's a historical accuracy. You need to have historical accuracy to understand where you've been. Because I think people have lost track of this. Where we've been is not where we're going to be from now. If you learn from what has been, you won't repeat what's going on now. But a lot of people haven't. And we've been repeating a lot of the same things. And we're still trying to carry that over. Which is why it's such a learning experience to see that shocking past. I mean, we have to learn from it. Because that's where we were. This is where we are. And where are we going? Those are the three really big questions that we need to look at. And I think where we're going is more important instead of where we've been. So instead of trying to create something that we want to carry over, I think we should try to trickle slowly and just ease into the future, rather than trying to forcefully feed it to everybody. That won't change anything. If anything, that'll create more resistance. So in order to stop what we're doing right now, we need to create smarter characters. And as a writer, I'm trying to. And I hope all writers are trying to do that. I hope all authors are trying to get that notion of diversity more, rather than trying to shove it in your face like a pie. So, yeah, and that's where I'm at. Thank you very much for being here and listening to me rant on about this today. So if you have any inkling to read my books and let me know what you think, you can stop over at my website at www.jeffwalkerbooks.weebly.com. That's my homepage. You can also look me up on Facebook, Instagram. I have a YouTube channel. And of course here on Anchor FM, my channel here. You can leave me a chat, a voice chat, apparently. I never knew we had that. If you wanted to leave me a message vocally on my chat channel here. And I also have... where else am I? I was trying to be on Discord, but I don't know anything about that. And I don't think I've got the time to sit there and listen to everybody chat. I'm also on Twitter, so if you want to get me, you can grab me on Twitter. Just look me up on, Twitter. And please, if you've delved into my books and... I'd really like to know what you think. I'm also on Goodreads, so if you look me up on Goodreads for The Long Lost War, Your Service is Required, The Massive Planet, which is out now, please leave me a review. I would love to hear what you thought of my books and what you thought of my characters. I'm talking about that right now. So please try them out. I'm also available on Amazon. And I have a few books on audio at audible.com. And I just invite you to read them, to listen to them, and I invite you to give me your thoughts on them. So you can please just come and let people know what you think, or let me know what you thought. You can, at my website, you can contact me and leave me a note and let me know. So thank you very much, and we'll wait till the next discussion.